Hi guys, hi there, how are all of you? I hope you all are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well guys, today I'm back again with a very interesting movie review for you people. And if I talk about today's movie review, what is the thing that is going to be making it so interesting and so intriguing, and why I am someone who is really saying this thing up again and again, because I really am someone who has really enjoyed each and every bit of this particular movie. If I talk about this particular film, there is a comeback of a very renowned actress known as Jennifer Lawrence, and she's the main producer of this particular movie also, but she's, other than the producer, she's the actress herself. And if we talk about her, what are the things that are going to be really there, I'll just reveal that up in a bit. And before going on to that particular thing, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you guys to subscribe to the channel, guys. Please press the like button, put your comments on it, and let's go on. So today we're going to talk about what? Today we're going to talk about No Hard Feelings. Now this is a particular movie that is totally different from the usual ones that we have been seeing. And if I talk about this particular movie, why is this movie literally so interesting? Because of a lot of particular reasons. Now there are a lot of things that need to be talked about over here. We come across Jennifer Lawrence as a particular lady who is someone who has who is someone who does not have that kind of a flair, who wants to be successful in her life. She's someone who is static, who is happy with whatever she has, and she tries to bluff people. She tries to do a lot of things that eventually play with the sentiments and the feelings of the people, because of the fact she is not interested in anyone. She just wants to have fun, have sex, and enjoy her life, and that's it. So this is what she is all in all. But the thing which tends to happen is what, that basically, in other words, if I say it up, she lives a life like a hippie. The basic thing that is there is this, that because of the fact she is someone who was at a particular other state, who was doing quite well, but because of the fact she lost both her parents and the house of her parents, which was so dear to her, she had to pay the mortgage for that particular hometown. And for that particular purpose, she becomes an Uber driver. And becoming an Uber driver, obviously the most important thing is your car. But because of the fact she is financially not quite strong enough, and she's unable to meet her mortgages and stuff like that, so her car gets taken away from her. Now this is where the story eventually tends to pop up. Now because of the fact her car has been taken away from her, now she has to think about a lot of different things that come up. She has to come up with a lot of different things that pop up, and how eventually can she pay off her mortgages, because of the fact if she would not have a car, she would never be able to pay the mortgage. And that is something that is a huge cause of concern for her. Now the thing which tends to happen is what? The thing which tends to happen is this, that her car eventually gets taken away from her. Now she's someone who now has no car, and she's an Uber driver, and if she obviously wants to pay off her mortgage, then she needs a car. For that particular purpose, she's just scrolling down, and on the newspaper she sees helicopter parents looking for a particular lady who is young enough and who can literally have their child come out of the comfort zone that he possesses, and they basically want their child to be ready for college. So we talk about a young particular individual, and we talk about a lady who is just 29 or 30, and or in other words 32, and this is how the story eventually tends to pop up. Now obviously now they have this thing that like whoever does that person would get a car. So now she's someone who really so desperate for that particular car, eventually plans and tends to go for that particular thing. Now eventually she plans it, and she tends to go for that particular family to approach them out. First appearance is this thing up that they feel that she's a particular sex worker, but eventually they come to realize no, she's not a sex worker. But then the next thing which tends to happen is what, that they feel that like she's too mature enough for their child, and she obviously would not be the source of attraction for that particular kid. But eventually the thing does not tend to happen, because she's someone who really comes up with a very good speech. She's able to convince them up, and that's how eventually the things go along. thing which tends to happen is what? The thing which tends to happen is this thing up, that she's able to convince the parents, and both the parents are now convinced up. Because of the fact that both of the parents are now convinced, so now there is no kind of an issue that would eventually tend to pop up. And because of that particular reason, now Jennifer has a good set of an advantage, and she's ready to, you know, take the kid up. Now the parents eventually want this thing, that because of the fact it is their plan, they don't want that this thing should be revealed to their child, and eventually they ask her that she should try her level best that this thing does not get revealed to him. And Jennifer obviously promises them up, and eventually now he's someone who is a totally off track kind of a boy, a nerd kind of an individual who is really not into girls, and she's someone who, you know, dresses up in a very, you know, beautiful kind of an attire, and she eventually approaches him. He's someone who does you know, or in other words, he's someone who volunteers for a dog particular stuff, and he's like stray dogs, he takes care of them and stuff like that. Now the thing which tends to happen is this, that eventually Jennifer approaches him over there, he comes across her, she gives him a ride home. Eventually on the way he feels this thing up, that he's someone who's been kidnapped, and he sprays pepper spray on her eyes, and Jennifer is in a very bad condition. From there we see the humor element, that like all the things that tend to happen with both of them, it tend to go the other way around, and Jennifer eventually does not herself realize that this boy eventually is now getting attracted towards her. And the main purpose was what, that she needed to have him come out of his comfort zone. The thing that eventually tend to happen was what, that eventually in this particular process, Jennifer eventually tends to realize this thing up, that why is the boy having so much insecurities. The purpose tend to happen what was, the reason boy was having so many insecurities was this particular reason, that in high school before that his you know, friends, they eventually came to know that he still sleeps with his particular parents, so they needed to make fun out of him, and they used to, you know, mock him up by calling him an incest and stuff like that. So that is something that really made him like that particular thing, that he wanted to be with himself alone and stuff like that. Anyhow, eventually with time, Jennifer also possesses some signs of feelings for that kid, but eventually she does not want to hurt the sentiments or the feelings of that kid. Eventually when the truth gets revealed up, now this is when the things tend to happen. Now there are a lot of bold scenes that have been taken place. If I talk about it, Jennifer eventually in one particular scene when they are having a swim on the beach, she eventually literally is naked, and this is something that really shows that she really was into the character. But the thing that is there is this, she really has gone that one step ahead for that particular role that is there. Obviously if we talk about Jennifer Lawrence, she eventually obviously became a mother, and because of that particular reason she was not expecting to be back so soon. But because of the thing which tend to happen was this thing up, that the script eventually popped up, and the script eventually really made her quite influenced up, and she eventually went for that. But this is how the story eventually tends to move on. A totally non-traditional kind of a story which eventually people are more fond of seeing, and that is what is the USP of this particular film. Humor is there to a great extent. Yes, you can say this thing up, that some scenes are the ones which really are a bit adult oriented scenes, but on the other way around, if you have a look at it, a really must watch. It would really be something that would really not only be pleasing, but it would be something that would have you laugh your heart out, in other words, if I say this thing up. So guys, this is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. And before I say goodbye to you people, I again like to say to you people that you guys have to subscribe to the channel, guys, because of the fact that your subscription, it really means a lot to me, and the likes and the comments that are there, you have to give them up, so that I come to know what kind of videos are you guys really going for, what are the ones which you are not going for that, and do let me know that whether you like my reaction on the video or not, guys. This is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Bye.